What's up, y'all? This is episode 11, Old Head, Young Minds. I'm Robert Penner.
I'm Allison Fine.
And we have a guest today.
Super special guest.
Melanie Hearn. Oh, comedian Melanie Hearn.
Hey.
Melanie Hearn.
That's like doctor. Like, doctor.
No, that's a good point, though. I was telling you on the way here, Melanie, we have, we're not just a comedy-based podcast. So, like, our last guest that we had was actually the poet laureate of Tacoma. So, yes, it's good to point out that you're not a doctor or a garbage truck driver. You are a comedian.
I am a comedian, a stand-up comedian.
Rather than a
sit-down comedian? Or a lay-down comedian.
Or, I'm a stand-up because I want people to...
A TikTok-only comedian.
I go in the hard clubs. I do the hard work. I go in and do the thing.
So yeah, this is episode 11.
Yeah, episode 11.
This is I already know this is going to be a great episode because Melanie's here. So let's just get into, you good? Are you good?
I am very good. Been an exciting couple of weeks since our last episode. Been doing some spots. But comedy side, my kid just graduated from massage therapy school.
Hey.
Kind of
I just booked an appointment with her.
Yeah, them.
Fuck.
See?
I'm the worst gay in the world.
Yeah. I'm the one that corrects.
With Katie.
Yeah.
I just booked an appointment with Katie for next week.
Yeah, they told me that earlier. But yeah, all's good. And life of the Penner.
Let's see, what day is today? 28th of August? Is that it? Are you good? Is that it?
I mean, I celebrate my 1 year Friday.
True. One year in sobriety?
No. In comedy. And did some shit, since then, went to Vinifera and went to the comedy bar and did some stuff. And, I got to host. I ended up surprisingly host the mic after a show. I was like, okay, sure. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Throw me the keys and...
Congratulations.
I guess, yeah. Thanks.
You're welcome.
I don't know. Just, yeah. Life is good.
Okay.
How about you? You good?
I'm good. I'm mostly good. We've talked about it before on the podcast. We are producers in the Open Mic Collective. And one of our mics, we just ended, which is our Waterland Arcade mic. Yeah. I see you're wearing the shirt. Yeah. R.I.P. to the Waterland Arcade mic. Yeah. Which ran for like a year and a half. So, I think that was a nice little run.
Special place for me. That was my first spot. And I got to host the last mic.
Yeah. That's right. And then the place where we do our shows on Friday night, Vinifera in Auburn, we're not going to be doing shows there for a while because they got some stuff going on. So, we're still good, but it was just weird to have two places end at one time, right?
One at a time, yeah.
And then on a personal note, like this last week is good. Like, I'm sure we'll talk about it. Melanie's been here since last Wednesday. Today is Monday, and she'll be here until this coming Wednesday. And so we'll talk about, all of that.
Right.
But also this morning, I just... found out, I just realized, actually, it went to my spam, so I had to search for it, but that I got put on the Bark Entertainment booking list.
Yeah, I saw that. What does that mean? Like, so now they're almost semi-touring, or in a sense?
That just means that I'm passed officially at the club. So that means that, what we got, and the reason I knew about it is because Brandon White, shout out to B. White.
So what does he say? It's a
name, not a suggestion. Shout out to BY. It is, he had told me he got it, and I was just like, oh, I didn't, I don't know how all of that works. So I happened to search my email, and I had gone on it too. Cool. So it basically was like, you're on our booked comic list. Here's the availability. And it was for both Tacoma clubs, Tacoma TCC, 1 and 2, and then Spokane. And it was like, here's a bunch of openings for hosts. Here's a bunch of openings for features. And then we email back our availability, and then, we'll see if we get them. But It just means I'm officially passed, I guess.
I got you.
And so I'll have the opportunity. That doesn't mean that I'll get booked.
Yeah.
But that was a good feeling.
And it does extend the opportunity to the other locations?
Yeah, it definitely can, right?
Okay.
And that's where you start. So it's all about those incremental kind of changes
Got it.
or just level ups. So for me, this was a level up. So that was exciting.
That's nice.
Yeah, in my personal life, things are good. Things have been busy, but I've been dating someone new, which is dope.
That's
and yeah, I'm good. Overall, I'm good. And then our guest, Melanie, you good? I guess we should have started the episode with what up, though.
Yes. What up, dude? That is the international greeting for Detroit. What up, dude? I all came in here like, hi. That didn't even feel right, you know. Like,
So you good?
I'm good. I think I am. I think I'm good. In this particular moment, wish I had a snack and maybe some tequila, but I'm good. And then I'm a caretaker for my parents and I'm away from them, so I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm hiding out in Washington State under these trees, so I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I think everything, like, it's Gucci. I'm Gucci. You know, I'm Gucci. Everything Gucci.
Well, you said you wanted a snack. When we leave, we're going to Manic Meatballs.
I'm gonna be really good. That's what I'm saying.
So shout out to Manic Meatballs in Steilacoom. I told her when we were driving down to Salem, to Oregon, I pointed it out, and I was like, ooh, we can go there on Monday. They have bomb-ass meatballs.
But
so
I
we're
really
going to grab a snack.
I want to grab a good snack. I am good. I needed this breather because Allison was telling me that you guys are really big on mental health and stuff like that. Because as comedians, we get overwhelmed. We have to still deal with like life stuff. Yeah. And get on stage and perform and make everybody else laugh, but you be dying in the inside, you know. So this is like a reset. So I'm good now. I was very stressed before I left Detroit. But now I'm good. I got to sit outside in nature. I think I seen a woodpecker. I could be wrong. I could have just been high. But I'm, you know, so now going home, I am good.
She looks straight in the camera for that. It's funny you said that you thought you saw a woodpecker because when I was in Philly last year, I saw my first firefly. So it's all about the woodland creatures.
That's wild.
She could have seen a woodpecker or just a weird looking squirrel. I don't know. In my backyard.
I don't know. It was something up there and it had like a very long beak and I could have swore I heard it going like back. And I was like,
it probably was. It might have been a rat.
It was a rat.
Hopefully not.
It was a nosy rat. It was a nosy rat.
So, Melanie, do you want to just tell us a little bit about you?
Sure. I'm a Virgo. Yeah. So what I've done, I'm from Detroit, Michigan, from the Midwest. I'm a comedian. And I actually met Allison at the Women's Comedy Festival last year. And we kind of connected and, you know, we kicked it since then. And we were trying to find a time to connect and make this all work. And I just want to give her a shout out and give her Melroses today because she put together this whole run. It's hard to try to put together a run and somebody to put together a decent run. Mm-hmm. So she did that, opened her doors up to me, you know, made me feel very comfortable. Because half the battle on the road is being comfortable in somebody else's space, people making you feel all weird and stuff. Yeah. So I appreciate her for that. So thank you very much. But I'm a comedian from Detroit. I've been doing comedy for about 8 years now. Okay. I started back in 2015 and then I moved to LA for a little bit right before COVID. And that was interesting. LA was cool. I was fast tracking. I was in development at the Comedy Store and then COVID happened. Boom. And then I came back to Detroit to take care of some old people, AKA my parents. And then here we are now. So a little bit about myself. I covered everything.
Tell us a little about like your upbringing, like growing up, maybe. You know, like.
Well, you know what? I'm very regular. 2-parent household, mom and dad. My mom's real super church lady, but she's nice. She's not like the church lady where you be like, oh, they don't. You know what I'm saying? Like not that one. Like she's the one that's very just a genuine person. So I'm the youngest of 3 siblings. My dad is a carpenter. So I grew up with a very Midwest family. The Kellogg family is what they used to call us. So, you know, very, but I was always the weird person in the family, so to speak. So the practical joker, the person that's always doing something, and everything. So yeah, I'm just real real midwestern gal, you know.
Gal.
Real gal, and shakes her shoulders.
So you say you've been doing comedy for 8 years. What did you do before comedy?
Oh man, sheesh. Everything. I was one of them people. I had a million jobs. I used to sell life insurance. I'll give you the high points.
Okay.
So I was a life insurance agent. I was a probation officer.
You didn't
What
see
else?
me. I never lived in Detroit.
Never lived in Detroit. Yeah, I was a probation officer. Let me check your record. What else did I used to do? I worked at a foreclosure law firm, taking people houses. And I was a telemarketer at a cemetery. So I did a lot. I did a lot.
I will say, Melanie started comedy a little bit later. I'm not gonna reveal her age because I don't know if she wants that out there. But she started comedy a little bit not late like we did, but a little bit later, which has given her amazing material. Because I've watched her a lot in this last week, right? And a lot of her material is about jobs that she had, and just some of the most hilarious takes I've ever seen on some of her jobs. So she's another sort of we talked before about like being funny fast, and some of it is because when you start older you actually have life experience to talk about, and she's a great example of that. She's a killer, and most of the stuff that I've heard is a lot of it is about her jobs and just taking the jobs that she did and then finding this funny aspect to it. So but of course, I've only seen a little bit of what she can do, but that's what I've seen, and it's pretty amazing.
And Kohl's.
And what?
And I worked at Kohl's.
At Kohl's.
That's the most traumatizing one, is working at Kohl's.
You got some of that hookup on the Kohl's cash?
Oh, here we go.
You know what I'm saying? Listen, if you want to see a white lady show something, you put off some Kohl's cash. You know, like that's strip club money right there.
We were at this show. So to go back to what Melanie said, and thank you for shouting me out on my own podcast. I appreciate it. And Melrose is hilarious. If you didn't catch that, but we did talk. I mean, we've talked ever since I met you. When I met you in May of last year, and so we talked about you coming out for a week, and I wanted it to be worth your time, right? Like, when I was out there, you weren't even part of the festival. I think you ended up doing a guest spot, but you weren't even part of the festival. You were just there because that's your home, market. And we just connected. We were just standing outside the Planet Ant Theater and whatever the name of that city is.
Oh, Hamtramck.
There you go. It's a very hard to say word.
It's a Polish one. It's a Polish name.
Their Polish words are like our native words.
Yeah.
If you can say Puyallup, then we know you've lived here for some time.
Sequim.
So he was out. I was out there, and she was outside, and we just connected, and then we started talking about her time in LA or whatever. And then she did do a guest spot that last night, I think. And then when she said she wanted to come out, you know me, I don't do anything 50%. If I wanted her to come, I wanted to give her the best experience.
Right.
So I knew I had some of our own mics for the collective, and I just started working it out. So we, she did the Flight Path mic in Burien. She featured there on Wednesday. Thursday, she did the Blackout. Shout out to Vanessa Dawn and Javen Jones, who do the Blackout in Seattle. I'm going to digress real quick. You're going to love this story. So the Blackout, for those of you who don't know, you should definitely check it out. It's the fourth Thursday of every month up in Seattle at the Olmsted. But it is a all Black comedian show, right? So obviously I'm not going to ever be on this show.
Neither would I.
Right. And as we're getting ready to leave for the show, Samantha goes, "Oh, Mom, are you doing comedy?" And Samantha's my daughter. And she goes, "Are you doing comedy tonight?" I was like, "No." And she goes, "Well, why not?" And I said, "Well, because Melanie doesn't think I'm that funny." And then she looked at Melanie and was like, "My mom is funny."
I was about to be like, now come on now.
That was the opposite at my house.
Katie was like, "Sounds about right." Yeah. And I said, "No, Sam, what it is the Blackout, the show that we're going to, it's a show for Black folks only." I said, "Sometimes there are shows that highlight certain voices, and this show highlights the Black voice."
Nice.
And without missing a beat, Sam goes, "But Mom, you have that voice."
She was so sincere, like, no, you got the voice.
And I was like, oh, Sam, you're so funny. And it's funny because, I don't think I've talked about this on the pod, but Sam was raised by a Black family, right? When she went into foster care at 1, she was raised by a big mama who had like 9 kids. They were all grown. So she became a foster parent. She had 6 foster kids until she had a bunch of strokes. And then, unfortunately, nobody in the family took care of the last couple foster kids, which was Sam and her brother. Sam got kicked back into foster care. So Sam's been around Black folks her whole life, right?
Okay.
So she said, you have that voice. And I said, okay, first of all, that was funny. Second of all, yes, but I'm still not qualified for that show.
Yeah, it's not.
I hear you, sis.
Yeah.
And so that was hilarious. But she did the blackout. Melanie headlined the blackout. And then Friday, we had the opportunity. We went down to Salem, Oregon, where we did the Infinity Room. It's funny that Melanie mentioned being comfortable in like my space because we had also Emma Pace Jonas at my house, who's the booker of the Infinity Room. Tony Myers, who's a hilarious comic from Salem.
Yeah, I got
Tony's
to meet them
girlfriend was there. Plus, my boyfriend was there at one point. A myriad of his children have been at my, and we have 3 dogs and 2 cats. Like,
so,
it was like a shelter this week in my house, but it was cool. We made it work. It was cool.
Get in where you fit in.
Yeah, and so it was cool because Emma actually booked Melanie at the Infinity Room, but wasn't going to be there because she had her own shows in Bellingham. So it was cool. They got to hang out. We got to hang out. Everybody got to hang out. It was really fun. And so we did the Infinity Room in Salem. Then that night we went to Funhouse in Portland, which is their midnight mic. Shout out to Matt Franco for that. He gave us, he gave me priority in terms of like, he pushed us up the list because that list gets long and goes till 3 a.m. sometimes. And then he gave Melanie extra time, which was
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, that was dope.
That's cool.
And then, so that was Friday night. Saturday, we headed back and we did a show in Olympia called Laughs and Loggers at the Headless Mumby Brewing. Jose Pineda is the booker there. Both of those weekend shows were kind of small in audience, but they were still so fun. Nice. We both sold merch. Like, the audiences were great. I think so.
And they were a good time. Like, sometimes I've noticed I would rather have a smaller crowd that's attentive than more people in the crowd that's not paying attention, because now those are 30 other people that's looking at me like, get off the stage, So I'll take the 8 people, but, I'm in a cold weather state too, so I already understand that. So, in the summer months, everybody outside. Nobody wants to sit inside and watch comedy. So I kind of was fully prepared for that point. This time, like I was telling her, I just wanted to kind of enter the market and just get some time away. That's the beauty about comedy. Like, we have a job where you can have a working vacation. You can get away and still make money at the same time. So that's the beauty about comedy. We can... Well, I have to take 2 weeks off of vacation time because we can work and make money and still take a little chill pill at the same time. So it's been a good week.
Yeah. And then
you might hear my stomach growling. I might need a cookie or something because it's over here like.
I have my crackers. I can share my crackers.
What you got?
You got jerky.
Let me hit that jerky. Let me hit that jerky. I'm gonna just hit both of these at the same time.
Everybody got snacks.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I hit the snack right here. Thank you for the jerky.
So
it's the first time eating on that.
we had one free day. No, it's all right. You can have the rest. We had one free day. And I was able to book her a guest spot in A. Jackson's,
nice.
Sort of last minute, opening for
Rob Stapleton.
Yeah, Rob Stapleton, who's a comic from New York, who I wasn't familiar with, but this dude is like Tony Roberts level funny. Like he don't ever sit down. He's sweating his ass off. He came off the stage last night a couple times. It was just did some crowd work that was insane. Like, that was great. But I was able to get her a guest spot on it, which was cool. And then cool. Brandon White was the feature, so that was fun. He had a lot to follow up on. My boyfriend actually went to the bathroom after the show, and he came out and he was like, yo, there's like 6 dudes in the bathroom, and they were all talking about like, that chick from Detroit was so funny. And so...
if you can get toilet talk, you doing something. Like, if you can get men in the men's bathroom to talk about you in the urinal in a good way, you doing something. I feel like I made it. You know what I'm saying? You doing something.
I feel like I made it. So it's good because I got a tape of her, so then she can send that to Nate, and then Nate's club, even though Nate is in Chicago doing 16 sold out shows in Chicago, which is also insane.
That's crazy.
It was nice to be able to bring her to my home club, to introduce her to some of the people and to have the club see her. You know what I'm saying? And now we have a tape so we could send it because ideally he'll bring her back and he'll have her, you know, he'll have her do a weekend or whatever. So, yeah, so that was good. And then tonight after we tape this podcast, she's headlining, she's actually co-headlining with Kate Carlson down at our, you know, Mike in Olympia. And then we're going to the local 907. Nice. And then tomorrow she's headlining at Trenchers, I think. And then she goes home on Wednesday.
Now go home. Back
so it's like 9 or 10 joke opportunities in 7 days. So
thank you to my talent booker right there. She has really put me together. But it's been, this part of the country has been really dope. Like I said, it's so pretty, but I've had such a good time here. Definitely the crowds are a little different, you know? Like, I had to learn, I'm just going to be honest, I had to learn the white people out here. I didn't know y'all. You know what I'm saying? Everybody not the same. You know, so I figured out this is the Midwest of the West. Like, y'all have the ethics of the Midwest, but the Hollywood of the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? So there's a little mix there. Like it's like the Midwest, I don't knock it, but it's a little bit of a Hooterville because we're not so close to industry. You guys are close to industry places and tech towns and like big money and Vancouver and, you know, you got Intel and Microsoft and there's larger companies here. So it's it's more money on the floor. But still, y'all got the work ethic of the Midwest because it was just way too many pickup trucks here. For the West Coast, that was way... That's what I'm saying. That's way too many pickup trucks for the West Coast. It was too much flannel and too many pickup trucks. And I was like, this is not the West. Something is off. Something is really nagging at me. And I was like, this is the West. This is the Midwest.
Well, and we never talked about this, Melanie, but you've talked about that in the week that we've been here. But I never added my thoughts, which was when I moved up here, I thought, oh, I'm a West Coast girl and I'm just moving up north. And it didn't take long to realize
no, it's not the same.
West Coast is not all the same. No. You know, I would say the Pacific Northwest is very unique. And I'm from the Bay Area, but I lived in Southern California, so I've been all through Cali. But Seattle and Tacoma and even Portland, they're a whole different breed of people. It's very interesting.
Like every area is different. Every area can be different. There's like in Tacoma, there's probably 6 or 7 subsects, you know?
For sure.
You know? Like so.
Well, and I also think the Pacific Northwest is someplace, and I won't be surprised if in another 10 years it's different, but it was a lot cheaper. So a lot of people moved up from California and from other places because it was cheaper to live here. Well, now it's becoming equally expensive. So I think, and now people are moving to Texas and they're moving to other places. But as much as people from this area are different than the people I grew up with in California, it's also very much a melting pot of people because there's, for every one person that you meet that's born and raised here, you meet 3 that are from another state and migrated here.
Too many people. I was gonna say probably 1 or 2. Everybody else was Oklahoma, Birmingham, just all over the place. So it was nobody really from around these parts, you know. And I kind of feel like everybody like they stick to themselves, but they kind of cool. Like you said, everybody kind of stick to. This is my little neighborhood coffee. This is my neighborhood place. This is my neighborhood this. I'm going to be here, you know. And I don't know if it's maybe because the way everything is spread out. But everybody's been cool, though. Like, everybody's I've been to, everybody's been super cool. The food has been good. It's a lot of pie here.
Let's talk about coffee real quick. So we got here on the first day. Well, not the first day, but the next morning, she was like, oh, I'm going to go to Starbucks. And she walked to Starbucks by my house. And she was there kicking it on the phone and whatever. And comes back. And I'm just like, Starbucks is what you want? Okay. And then the next day, I brought her to my place in Federal Way called Jumpstart Espresso. Shout out to Jumpstart Espresso. You could be our sponsor too. Which I love because it's just, they got 2 stands. They're owned by a lesbian set of sisters, Michael and Stephanie. But that's my normal go-to spot. And I brought her there. Now, how are you feeling about coffee?
Okay, so let's reenact the story. I said, I went to Starbucks. No. On the Acme commercial, everything goes like, it was like that. You can tell it. You know, like everything went like, yeah, like you know how the hair go up and then the eyes and bulge out like, da, 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 da. And I was like, oh, okay, I messed up. So apparently it's like the McDonald's. It is the bottom rung. But I will say, I did go to Jumpstart Espresso. First of all, she ran out to the driveway. Let me start there. I've never had nobody jog to me. Let me start right there. She jogged out to me. That was a plus right there. I said, she jogged. She jogged out to me with a smile, everything. Super friendly, and the coffee was exceptionally better because y'all got mountain beans. Okay, the beans come from the mountains here, and that right there cut above the rest. You know what I'm saying? Mountain beans.
I don't know that any of that story is true, except that we went to Jumpstart Espresso.
I believe every word she said.
I'm sure you do. I think I've changed my mind. I don't think it's the McDonald's of. I don't think Starbucks is the McDonald's of coffee. I think it's the Jack in the Box. I think it's where you in the middle of the night when you left the club, you left the bar, and you're starving, and you're like, the only thing that's open is Jack in the Box. So it's cool. I'll go there if I have to, right? That's how Starbucks is. Like, I'll go there if everything else is closed and I'm not near Bigfoot because Bigfoot's 24 hours. But it's the last. I mean, and Starbucks is headquartered here, so there are people that love it. I
don't go to Starbucks that much either, but I'm not a coffee dude anyway.
I mean, she had me with 24-hour coffee. I was like, I get coffee 24 hours a day.
Oh yeah, Bigfoot. Shout out to Bigfoot. But
again, mountain beans. You wouldn't have a Bigfoot coffee place if it wasn't in the mountains because Bigfoot stepped on the beans, and that's how you got the beans. And now it came from the mountain, and now you got Bigfoot. I don't know why you didn't figure that out.
Oh my gosh,
they're still looking for him.
I don't think that he's making coffee somewhere.
He is. He's a barista.
Oh my gosh,
he's trying to clean his ways up. He's a barista. Bigfoot the barista.
So we've converted her on the way over. On the way over here, she goes, "Am I going to be one of those ladies that orders coffee from the internet so I can make it at home?"
I really think I'm about to be that person that makes my own coffee.
We do have good coffee
because
here.
now I can't. I was telling her in the car, I was like, "How am I gonna go back? I can't go back." Like now, I got to go back and tell the people I cheated on them, and I went to the real. But it's sad. What am I supposed to do?
And I told her about the, naked coffee stands. And I was like, coffee is real big here.
Yeah, that's not a thing in there. I wonder, I need to look that up.
What?
Is any other place have bikini baristas?
I don't know, dude.
And it's like a thing here. Like
we're very pro sex work in this state. So we're pro sex work and we love coffee. And they had a baby and made Ladybug Espresso and
my
shit.
issue is I look at it from a couple different lenses. I look at that like from a dad lens. I like, damn, who hurt you? And then
for sex work though, I consider that sex work, right? That's a form of sex work. And for sex work, like you're not actually having to do anything with anyone.
Right.
You're just standing around being cute and making fucking lattes. So those bitches, they probably make a lot of money.
Yeah. And just think about the clientele you get, because if you're going into the regular club, you getting people dealing with alcohol and all that other kind of stuff. So you getting a responsible strip club, basically. You know what I'm saying? This is a responsible place to go ahead and make. You know what I'm saying? If I want to take my clothes off of somebody, it would be for the man that was making the latte. Because he's sitting there, what he about to do? To get the caffeine and dry hump my leg? You know what I'm saying? That's about the most he gonna do. But other than that,
I look at it also from I work in construction and like a safety aspect. I'm like, they're gonna spend that hot liquid on your naked body. Take a risk.
Oh, I wasn't thinking about safety that way. I was thinking about safety for the girls.
I was thinking,
like you. They probably got hard lids.
Oh wow!
It's a permanent. It's a permanent.
Took a turn there.
Yeah, like a hard hat. But you put it on the lid for them.
Do you have any questions for Melanie?
What got you into comedy?
Actually, it was I always wanted to do comedy. The same thing. Everybody, class comic, class clown, all that stuff. And then I wanted to go to law school. And one day I figured out I didn't want to go to law school anymore. And you know how you get to that certain age and you figure out that everything you want to do in your life just fell apart? Like, you get to like 30-something, like I was like 29, 30. And then I figured out like, oh, well, I thought I was going to be married with kids. I thought I was going to be a millionaire right now. I thought I was going to have this 6-figure job. I thought I was going to be in law school. And it was like, no, you got this apartment and you work at Kohl's and you're a receptionist. So what are you going to do with yourself? You know what I'm saying? And speaking of mental illness, actually, I was very depressed. I was really, really depressed. And I didn't know what depression looked like. I didn't understand that. And not until I was out of it did I see what it looked like. all the mood swings. You don't know if you're coming and going. Just kind of going through the motions, faking it through life and something like that. But like they say, you can fool a lot of people, but you cannot fool your mama. You cannot fool your mama. So my mother kind of noticed that I was off and something was going on. And so, just to tell you just how long ago this was, in the actual paper, in the classifieds or whatever section it was an ad to take comedy classes at Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle. So she circled it, she gave me the paper, and it was like maybe a Tuesday or Wednesday, and she told me to call. And so I called, and the classes just so happened to start that Saturday. And she gave me $200 and told me to go, and the rest is history.
Nice.
Wow.
That's how it happened.
Nice.
What's your most, what's your dopest experience when it comes to comedy? Do you have one that stands out?
Oh, gosh.
Like a place that you went or someone that you opened for or...
Gosh, let me see.
Other than this trip, obviously.
I would say one of the dopest moments I had is when I actually was able to perform for the first time at the Comedy Store. Like, actually being picked by the talent manager, by the booker, to come back and perform,
And that's in LA, right?
And that's in LA.
Yeah.
Just being in LA and even Hollywood Improv in LA, just being recognized as being talented, and people who are really people that can change your life see you and see your talent. It's like everything you did, now is not for nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because sometimes people cannot understand your comedy and stuff like that. And I think that was one of the dope moments where I came in and people were just like, you like are a breath of fresh air, and it was just kind of like, oh, I am doing this right. Because sometimes you don't know, it's not a blooper. You don't get like a sir. You don't know if you're doing it right. You know you're funny, but you don't know if you're doing it right, with the career path. So I would say that was a dope moment. And then to like, in that same day to do potluck and then see Chris Rock and Steve Martin come in, or even Chris Estrada, and then I turn around and I see him on This Fool on Hulu, So I would say that was like a really dope moment to just be like, oh, okay, I can do this.
I think that's how I felt this morning when I got that email from Bark, right? Like, I'm 2 years in, and one guy, Josh Firestein, he books for all 7 of their clubs, but he's here, local, and for me to be on that list, that was a moment where I'm like, okay, I am doing what I'm supposed to do in the order I'm supposed to do it. And immediately Josh Firestein responded on my post and said, oh shit, I forgot to take you off the email list. I said, it's too late, buddy.
I'm already here.
So yeah, that's gotta be huge. I mean, going to the Comedy Store, and I mean, they're pretty generous about letting people walk in sometimes and have opportunities, but for you to be like, yes, we want you on this show.
Well,
that's huge.
Only if you're famous. It is people that will come to potluck. It will be hundreds of comedians out there. So let me explain potluck. Most people. But
I'm not familiar with it.
So it is hundreds of people that come to the Comedy Store. People that already live there. People out of town. I was catching a bus from South Central, so I was coming 2 hours to the Comedy Store, and it's hundreds of people. You sign this list, and only 15 people are getting picked. It's people that was coming to potluck for months and years and never got picked.
Wow.
So just to be able to get picked in the first month that I was there,
wow.
Some stuff was just unheard of. So I was very appreciative to be able to do that, because it was people that were, I remember it was a girl crying in the bathroom like, oh my gosh, I never get picked. And I'm just sitting there like, so this is my 4th time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you don't take those opportunities for granted, because people are traveling from all over to get this opportunity that only literally 15 people are getting. That's just how slim it is. You go and you catch a bus for 2 hours and you have no idea, and you sit there for 3 hours and you have no idea if you're getting up. And then if you do, you only get 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So you better make these 3 minutes count. And comics, I would tell you, if you only got 3 minutes, skip all that how you doing. Just tell your jokes. Get to the point. Nobody care how you doing. We done heard it 50, 11 times. Tell your jokes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was because it groomed me, So it was a very surreal opportunity, because you don't get those. And you could feel the daggers in your back, because people was like, who is she? Because then you come out of nowhere, and then people see you, and then they're like, well, who is that? And so that was a very wonderful opportunity for me.
And so Nate Jackson, Nate Jackson's from here and his club is here, but he spent, I don't know, 5-6 years in LA. And he runs, sometimes people don't always understand why Nate does what he does or how he runs things. But I do know just from our conversations that sometimes it's, he feels like things can be a little too easy in the Pacific Northwest. And so he can be hard on people and he can be, hard on the way that he kind of manages things. And I think that's because he spent so much time in LA and he knows what a tough market looks like. And it's not here.
Well, when you get to an industry town, you have to begin to treat stuff like the industry. And I don't knock anybody. What I figure is you have to find what path you want to go on. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you want to just do comedy, go around, whatever, then you're not going to treat it in that respect. But if you're really trying to build a brand, be a star, make a life out of it, then you're going to have to start thinking a little bit bigger. So obviously correct. Because even in the Midwest, we're spoiled. A lot of open micers, y'all don't, you get in 7 minutes and 5 minutes and then when a club come and try to give you 3 minutes, it's like, arr, but you're not used to that,
Yeah.
And I think it's a good thing that he's hard on y'all because that will give you realistically what you're dealing with. But if you get a bunch of stage time and you get spoiled, then you think you got 30 minutes of material, but you do not.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But you could talk for 30 minutes.
Yep.
But 30 minutes of material, so you do have to be hard on people.
And as much as, Nate frustrates me sometimes, he's hard on me because he cares about me, and I know that. And when I'm frustrated with him, I just remember some of the opportunities he's given me is because he has seen me work hard or whatever. And these are all learning opportunities. And
If we don't believe in you, we don't talk to you. That's the bottom line. If we don't see you. If we don't think you're doing nothing and you're just playing around, we don't even see you.
Right.
Because there's no point in wasting my time talking to you. I don't even see you.
Yeah.
What would you label your comedy as? Like, what kind of comic are you? Like, I haven't seen you perform yet, so
What would you say? I mean, because everybody, I can give the relatable, unabashed. I'm just me. Like, I just talk about regular, everyday, whatever happened to me, the way I see it. Like she was saying, my jobs, my family, being a caregiver, being single, being a woman, or just stupid stuff I see, artificial intelligence, just
I got you.
things that I see.
Well, you're wearing your merch shirt right now, right?
Yes, I am.
I'm also wearing a shirt that I love very much. Hella Bay Area. Shout out to the Hella Bay Area company. But you're wearing your merch shirt, and it comes from one of
my jokes.
It's a hilarious joke. Was that inspired by real shit?
Yes, it was. This became, because the situation happened, this became ministry. You know what I'm saying? So the story is I was going with a guy, and he couldn't rap, and so I was trying to be there for him and all this other kind of stuff. And I remember we broke up and he said some real, like, just harsh stuff to me. You know what I'm saying? Just really. And I just remember riding down the street, yelling out the window, like, you can't rap! You can't rap! You know what I'm saying? And then it kind of came from there.
Damn.
Her joke is absolutely
nice.
It murdered.
Because you got to yell at a rapper. You got to yell it as you riding down the street. You can't stay it in their face. You got to just drive down the street and yell it out the car window as you go down the street.
I've seen her do it twice in kind of a longer form and then like a short form. And that shit is fucking hilarious. Nice. So her shirt, I think she just held it up. Says, you can't rap, bitch.
Yeah.
You cannot rap.
But I've turned that into some other things all week. Like, there was some stuff going on with somebody that wasn't communicating properly. And I was like, you can't communicate, bitch. Like, it's just a relatable, it's great merch. But the joke is hilarious. So I think if from what I've seen of her comedy, it's just all observational, like within her own life.
Got it.
Which then makes it relatable, you know? Some comics are more external, where they're talking about current events or they're talking about bigger social construct type stuff. But Melanie talks about very personal stuff. She said, when she talked about her Kohl's job, she said Kohl's cash does expire. and that you don't want to get in her line because she'll rip that shit up in front of your face.
But you just gotta, you just gotta tell the truth. And now that I'm thinking about it, next time I come this way, I'm gonna get something that say, "You can't code, bitch." People out here
To tag people.
You can't code.
That's great. One of the other things that she does a really long bit about her cemetery job, which I won't even get into. You just gotta pay to see her. But I will say one of the best lines in that is, "Do you want to inconvenience a white person? Die." And it is both. I cackle both times I heard that in the last week, because then she gets into the why behind it, and it's her experience working at a cemetery and eventually, going from selling plots to then working with the people and helping them make arrangements. But just when she gets into that joke, just that line, "You want to inconvenience a white person? Die." And that shit that is a roar, you know what I'm saying, from the crowd, because it's just so fucking funny. So I think that's what you take your personal life and you make it funny, which I think for me, that's the kind of comedy I like. I like a lot of different types of comedians. Mm-hmm. Most of them are centered in that. Most of them are centered in, like, he's a huge Bert Kreischer fan, because he's also his doppelganger. But Bert Kreischer, he's not the funniest guy to me. He's not sorry, Rob.
It's okay.
But he does so much funny shit about his family, you know?
Yeah.
I think Bill Burr, he's not for everybody, but he talks about his interracial marriage and,
I have a very funny Bill Burr story. So I was at the Laugh Factory. And we was at the Laugh Factory.
In what city?
In Hollywood.
Okay.
So we were at, it was like a Tuesday, and Ruby Tuesdays at this show they do. And so everybody's upstairs, all the comics are there. And so I see a guy just sitting on the couch, just chilling, minding his business. And, he might have been just kind of like staring off into the distance. You know how somebody might just, they in a daze, but they're staring right at you, but they just might be in a daze. So he was staring at me, and I was in a circle with my friends. And I'm looking, and I told my friends, I was like, "Oh my gosh, who was this white guy? He all on my grill. Is he gonna try to holler or are you not? Goodness gracious." And I turned around and it was like, "That's Bill Burr." And I was like, "Oh, is he gonna try to holler?" And then when I seen his wife, I was like, "Oh, you was trying to holler." I said, no, you was looking now. You want to holler, but you was looking. And I was like,
that's hilarious.
It was like, dude, that was Bill Burr. But you did a great job of summing up my comment, because sometimes people ask me, and I'm like, yeah, it's observational, but it's in the inside, but it's in the outside, because it's kind of hard for me to explain stuff. But I really do talk about my my everyday life, because I feel like comedy's taking a turn and a shift that people want to know about you. I think that's what social media did. Is it made people want to, they want to know about you. They want to know, they want to know personalities. Like, that's what we used to have with regular TV. Like the talk shows, the Sally Jesse Raphaels, the Ricky Lakes, they were a personality, you know? And depending on what personality you liked, that's who you watched. Same thing with social media. We just have 1,000 more Ricky Lakes now, because you just figure out what personality you like or what, social, and then you just kind of follow from there. But I think it's definitely now people want to know about you. I
think that's a good analogy too, because if you think about it, once you start following certain people, then the algorithm picks up that and you see more people like that. So if you're only following, black men that tell inspirational whatever, then the more you like them, the more of them you will see in your TikTok feed or your Instagram feed or whatever. So I think that you're
I know, right?
I know. It's like you put in narcissists and then you get everything. You be like, oh my gosh, you know what I'm saying? If I see somebody asking me what I'm bringing to the table, chicken, ribs, leave me alone. But I hate that in the algorithm.
I just think I think that's one of the reasons why I appreciate your comedy so much, is because that's the kind of comedian I am. Like, I take my stories and make them personal, but I have so much work to do on still expanding what I would tell a joke in 3 minutes, you tell in 7, because you've just made it so much bigger, because you're just so much more experienced. So that's the kind of person. Your kind of comedy is the kind of comedy that I hope to be. You know what I'm saying? When I'm 8 years in.
But just know, every joke I can do it in 90 seconds.
I'm sure you can.
Know that you can do your joke in 90 seconds.
Yes. And I've had those situations where I've had to, I got the light and I was like, oh, I have 3 minutes and I still have 2 more jokes. And I figure, I'm pretty good at that naturally, right?
Yeah.
Just condensing. But your ability to, like, if you can't rap, bitch, like that, the extended form of that is just, there's so many details and there's so many little things. She can do it she can do it very quickly. But then watching that expanded version, that's the kind of comic I want to be. Because I'm not a one-liner or quick-witted or whatever. You're like that too. Like you do a lot of stuff about your personal life. So
yeah. What's been your biggest influence? Or who or what? Maybe comedy related or life,
I would say just the people around me. Like they're gonna be your biggest influences. Like just family, friends. I would say influences for comedy, and then I would say just like random people. Like I have a cousin that is so great with her wordplay. That it's just like you just watch her and it's just unreal. But I would say most of, and a lot of people ask me like, especially about my comedy influences and stuff like that. It's all of the OGs in my hometown. Like rest in peace to Kool-Aid, Josh Adams, Heather J, Coco, Mike Bonner, Tony, you know what I'm saying? All the people that I see that actually took time to call me and groom me and help me, and people that I watched in real time, still been on HBO, Def Jam, but will still, CP, you know what I'm saying? These are people who will still pull up to Detroit and do a bar show. Like Tony Roberts will still come home and do a bar show. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm sure.
I love people like that who still will never just be like, I'm too good for this or I'm too good for that. You know what I'm saying? They still gonna come and so those are the people that I watch because I watch their work ethic. And to me, and if you got good work ethic, that's gonna take you a long way in comedy, and stuff like that. So those are the people that would be my influences.
And I think we have some similar comics that are big from this area, like Gabe Rutledge or Kermit Apio. Like these are guys that travel everywhere.
Yeah.
Kermit is Hawaiian and he's been asked to do all these like charity shows because of what happened in Maui, right? So he travels everywhere. He gets asked to do these huge shows. He's got specials, whatever. But I've also seen him work. He came to one of our mics one time just on GP because he had a private gig in the area and did 10 minutes and did a great 10 minutes. Didn't treat it like, oh, it's just some bullshit mic that he just was really just trying to come, get a hamburger and watch us. He gave us a good 10 minutes, and I've seen him do local stuff. And him and Gabe Rutledge specifically, these are people who could never be in this market and work full time, but they will come home and they'll do local shows. And they're kind to the local comics and the new people.
Because the thing of the matter is, at the end of the day, we're stage whores. Comics, I don't care who it is. We always want stage time.
Yeah.
Like, that's why you still see Dave Chappelle pull up to places. That's why you see, Jay Leno, nobody stops working. Like, we're comics to our heart. So no matter, that's why a lot of times with some people, I don't really fan out because it's like, you're my colleague. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and I'm not saying like you're my peer, but you're my colleague. So we do the same thing. So, yes, I would expect to see a famous person at an open mic because you got to do your job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, sometimes I don't like, it is certain people that I have met and I've been like, damn, I fanned out. Like when I met Cat Williams, like Cat Williams is like a rock star of comedy. Like he's a different kind of, like certain people to me can walk in a room and everybody be like, oh, he here, and it's quiet. You know what I'm saying? Like I've seen people walk in the room and Kevin Hart is there and they know he there and you'll hear like Kevin here, like that kind of stuff. But I feel like if people knew that Cat and they got out the car, I feel like it would be like pandemonium because he just is something about, you know what I'm saying, the energy. But he's still a very cool guy, nice guy, very smart. Like you can see that he's like when people say he's a genius, he's very smart.
Cat?
Yes,
yeah,
he's very smart. A very great writer.
You see what he did? I'm trying to think what I saw something he did recently. He paid for somebody's the star on the Hollywood the walk. I don't know the person's name, but I saw the post that he ponied up the money. That it actually costs money for someone to
Oh, so he paid for them to get that.
Yeah.
I can see that because he one thing I will notice is that and I'll say this about the difference between myself and I'm seeing it with other comedians, it's one type of comedian that will try to put you on and pull other people up, and then it's the other one that's just, I got you on the show. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And what I watched about Cat Williams is that I saw him put people on tours that you hadn't seen in a while. Like you hadn't seen Lunel in a while, or you hadn't seen Tommy Davidson or Mark Curry in a while.
Yeah.
But then he pulled new people like Gian Thomas and Pretty Ricky, you know what I'm saying? And women at that, you know what I'm saying? To have
Shout out to women.
Yeah, Daphne, to have multiple women on a tour, on a national tour, that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? How Tiffany had it. So we don't get those opportunities from male comedians a lot of times to put us on a national platform like that. So that's a big thing. Yeah,
I mean, I've only been doing this, 2 years. So I've met some famous people through the clubs, but it's going to sound weird, right? Because he's not a comedian first, but T.I. came here to Nate's when he was starting, because he's been doing comedy a little over a year now, I guess. And I met his management, and they were like, you can go upstairs. Like, when they found out I was a comic, they were like, you can go upstairs and meet him. And obviously, he's not a big comic, but he's a huge star.
Right.
And so I kind of expected him to be very, to treat us like fangirls or fan people. T.I. was incredibly nice. And I was just like, I started comedy a year ago, or whatever it was, a little bit, longer than you. And he was just like, this grind is hard. And he's like, I get a lot of support. He's like, and this is he was just so relatable as a human. It's also not always the reputation that T.I. has, but I felt like people had their opinions about T.I. when he started comedy. I'm sure he gets a lot of people behind the scenes helping him, supporting him. But I was fangirling the rapper, right? Let's be real. I was fangirling the rapper. Mm-hmm. But as a comic, he was incredibly humble. And he was like, yo, this is a grind. He's like, I didn't know it was going to be this hard. He was very kind.
I appreciate that because I haven't met him personally, but a couple people that I know that said the same thing.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of us, that was the big thing in the beginning. It was like, how, I know how actors feel now when rappers try to jump in and become actors. And it's like, but I studied, I was homeless.
Yep.
I sacrificed for this. And then because you a rapper, you about to come in and become a star. You know what I'm saying? So I know. You know what I'm saying? Formal training, all that kind of stuff. So I think a lot of comics were skeptical because it was like, okay, now we got another person about to take, you know what I'm saying? Just because he's funny, just because he's T.I. and stuff like that. And we just wanted to see, I know quite a few people, let's just see if you're going to put the work in.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, comedy to me is one of the most disrespected art forms, period. Comedy is one of the things that everybody think they can do. Everybody don't get up and think they can be a poet. They give poets more respect, singers more respect. Nobody get up there and just be like, oh, I can sing, and you can't sing. Because they already know what it takes, and they know they can't sing. Somebody might try to get up there and do some spoken word, but they also know that they got a respect for the poetry and the art that they know they can't do that. You know what I'm saying? And even if they try to get up there and write a poem or do something spoken word, it's just a bucket list thing. They might try it one time and that's done or something like that. But comedy, this is the only thing that people are repeatedly bad at and repeatedly keep coming back. That's the crazy part. This is the only thing where people come and don't even try to get better. I've never seen an art form where people, have you seen a painter that just keep painting? What's his name? Bob, the white man with the afro?
Ross.
Yeah, Bob Ross. If Bob Ross did not get no better, we would have cut him off 15 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Who gonna keep painting and it's ugly? Nobody.
Well, and unless you have the money or some random, I don't know, just are so likable someone's doing it for free. You could be a singer, you could be a marginal singer and someone's writing your lyrics and someone else is producing a track and then they're auto-tuning your voice. So it's you're just the face of a whole bunch of people behind you, where with comedy, you could absolutely have people writing your jokes, but not when you're starting out. Right.
But those are the people I'm talking about. These are the people. That's why I'm saying comedy is just because this is the art form that people, they bucket list it and then they come and then they're not teachable. They're not coachable. You don't want to learn. You know what I'm saying? It's just something that you want to do for people that have sacrificed. And this is what we want to do.
Right.
It becomes like, okay, you know what I'm saying?
Got it.
You can't tell me what to do. Because in 8 years, I'm gonna be on TV. And it's like, okay, well, all right. When I'm in 8 years, when I'm doing what you do, I ain't gonna be like you. It's almost like kids. When I'm your age, I'm not gonna be like you, mama. You know what I'm saying? It's like that.
Well, we saw somebody this weekend that, has been in the game as long as Melanie and is nowhere near where Melanie is in skill level.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And not to say that person wasn't funny, but it was just like 8 years versus 8 years. There was a like Grand Canyon sized gap between the skill level. And that is a testament to many things probably. But my guess would be the first thing would be Melanie's work ethic versus other people's work ethic. I think sometimes it's also natural ability. Some people are just naturally funny. But it was just strange to be like, how are they on, how is that two people with the same amount of time in, and one is like, and one is belly laughs.
Because comedy, I had to explain to people in the middle, comedy ain't fair. And I'll sum it up. Comedy is not a fair business. It is not a fair business. This is not a business just because we started at the same time, because we didn't put in the same level of work and we didn't sacrifice the same and we didn't do the same things. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference between, you'll have people come out and in the same team. And that's why you got 5 starting players. And then on that team, that's why you got a real live start, because they put in the work. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I wanted to go home days and go home and go to sleep. And I would love to be at barbecues and have a boyfriend and a family with the rest of them. But I chose my career. You know what I'm saying? And it's about choices. You just got to choose your... So, no, this is not a fair business. This is not a fair business.
We have to wrap up this episode soon. So before we go to Dope or Trash, do you have any, advice or any
I had that
wise
on my list.
words?
Yeah. Especially for comics at our level, maybe,
I would say for comics under the first 3 years, just keep doing every mic. Don't get involved in the politics around you. Don't get involved in other stuff, because right now, just hone your craft. Hone your craft. Hone your craft. Hone your craft. Get the tightest 5-minute set you can, because that's what people are booking. We want to book you. This is a game about being booked. So if you want to get booked, you get a tight 5-minute set. Be cool. Be likable. Somebody gave me some advice. Pam, performance, appearance, material. Look good. Be good. Tip the wait staff. Be cool. Sit in the corner. Do your job. Be eager. Go to clubs. Try to get a spot. Hang out even if you ain't on the show. Just try to be there, because you never know what opportunity comes your way by just being in the room. But right now, hone your craft and try to get a fire 5 minutes. And then once that one is fire, you get another 5 until you get a tight 10 where we want to get higher. But right now, hone your craft. Hit every mic. Don't ever turn down the mic. If you out, hit that mic.
Yeah.
Don't ever go nowhere and say, I don't want to hit the mic, because what are you here for?
Yeah.
So that's my thing.
That's great advice.
That is great advice.
We should clip that out and put that out. We haven't been doing clips, so we should do that.
Yeah. I definitely want to do that more.
Okay, we're going to go on to Dope or Trash. So this is where we have some random topics and we decide whether we think they're dope or trash, or sometimes we feel like they're both. I have my first topic, food delivery services like Uber Eats or DoorDash.
Trash.
It's dope.
Talk about it.
I ain't paying no extra money. I just get up in the snow and I ain't paying. Ain't nothing in my world gonna pay $13.66 for a 2 cheeseburger meal. Trash.
He said dope.
I'm lazy sometimes. I'll be at the house and I'm like, man, I don't feel like going nowhere.
See, I'm a little bit of both, because I like the convenience of it. I don't always love the fees, right? And I always go to the place that has the 49 cents or free delivery.
Right.
But they fuck up the meal so often. And then trying to either get a refund or trying to get them to fix it is very frustrating. So I'm kind of in the middle. Like, I just wish that they would be better. And I feel like they were better during the pandemic when they like really exploded, because that's all we had. But now I feel like they're lazy. So I'm kind of in the middle. Nook.
What you think about it?
I think it's dope because I don't go outside, so.
He's a homebody.
That's true.
I be in the house.
So yeah,
Bring my food to me.
But it's cold and like
It's cold. I need to be able to check my fries and make sure they're above that yellow mark.
Right.
Because
Yeah, that'd be nice, but I just rather not go outside.
Okay.
The only thing that has really saved it for me is like now I have an air fryer. So like if I get fries, I can always put them in the air fryer and heat them up real quick or whatever. But fuck, I don't want to pay all that money and I have to reheat my food before I even try it.
I'm not. I just can't pay $13 for a 2 cheeseburger. I just draw the line. That's it.
Do you have any?
I got one.
What?
It's in the same area, maybe. Going to a restaurant, sitting down, and then realizing, nah, I'm out.
Why are we leaving?
Either A, you saw the prices, or B, like it just, man, I thought they had better stuff. It happened recently, but we ended up staying. But I don't know. It's just something I thought of.
I mean,
Is it wrong?
I mean, I think it's. I don't know. I don't know how you dope or trash that. Like,
Yeah.
I would say that's kind of trash.
Yeah.
Honestly, because I would do my research before I went.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like most places has online menus, or you can ask to see the menu if it's unfamiliar. That being said, I don't go to a lot of unfamiliar places.
Right.
I don't either.
So that's so for me, it's like, it's rare. I'm also a very picky eater at times. So for me, I'm gonna do my research, or I know what I want at Red Robin.
I thought I had researched it enough, and it was just like I was like, I thought you were gonna have more, and then it was just like, oh, I guess we're getting this.
What do you think?
Say it one more time.
Like going to the restaurant and like deciding I don't want to be here and just getting up and leaving.
Oh man, shoot. In the end, I'm half and half because I'm just too wimpy to just. Because once she put the water on the table, I feel obligated to go. So I'll just, unless it's really out of order food, where it's really just like some stuff where I'm like, okay, nah. I've done it once or twice where I just don't. I'm gonna tell you, I really have to not like the menu.
Okay.
You know, and sometimes some of the menus, they change. Like these places now, it's an old seasonal menu. So you get there, you think it's one thing, and then they done change the menu. Like, oh, it was an old menu online. Well, you could have updated the menu. So I know I've left a place because I thought they had one thing and they updated the menu and I didn't like it. But I usually try to catch them before they put the waters on the table because I feel really bad.
Nook.
Oh, if I go outside, I'm eating. I'm not switching rest. I'm going to the place I'm at, and that's what's happening. And then I'm going home.
Got it.
Side note, the food ended up being good.
Well, that's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
like I stayed in the food.
Yeah, I think
ended up being
I
good,
would
but-
feel guilty, which is weird because like if you leave the table, someone else is coming right behind you.
Right.
But I feel weird about it.
Because I feel like once she got cups and water, we go together. We here.
Do you have any dope or trash topics?
So because I don't know. So this is a dope or trash topic for me. How do we feel about these cardboard straws? Dope or trash?
Oh, trash.
Trash.
Thank you. Thank you.
Trash.
Oh, trash.
You cannot snort cocaine with cardboard straws. It's not the same.
And then you can't even get your drink right. Like you know what I'm saying? It kind of folds too right. And I didn't know how I felt about that. Like I didn't know if it was dope or trash.
My issue with them is that it takes me a long time to drink most things. So they get fucking soggy.
Yeah.
They get soggy before I can get the whole drink. And then I'm like, now what am I'm drinking the cardboard that is now
And that's
dissolved.
how I feel. I'm thinking I'm dissolving the cardboard and I'm drinking the cardboard. Because when I first got to California, I'm like, where the plastic at? And they like, in the ocean. I was like, my bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, plastic is a bad word in California, basically. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I was just like, this is... And then what do we think about...
Wait, I want Nook to answer that.
I'm sorry.
Where you at with cardboard straws, bro?
Oh, literally trash. I don't. Why? There's not.
What?
I don't even believe that turtle story. I think that's a lie.
I I love his passion.
It's a straight up lie. How does a turtle get a straw in his nose? You know how hard it is for that to happen?
So you should go watch some of our episodes and see how passionate Nook gets on some of the weirdest fucking things.
Yeah, because that cardboard just really dug something in your skin. Because she was like, I can't stand it.
Not at all.
Stupid turtle. Now I got to sit here and have this old cardboard straw. I feel you.
Okay. You said you had another one.
When I was in California, I was meat shamed a lot. And do y'all think that's dope or trash for people to meat shame you? It's a lot of vegans and vegetarians out there. And,
Trash.
And they would just shame me because I want to just a
I like bacon.
piece of cow. You know what I'm saying? And so they would get and they would shame me like, you don't know where your meat come from. And I said, as a matter of fact, I do because I live in Michigan. So all I gotta do is just drive up the highway and then I see them right there. And then we're just gonna go shoot them and then come bring them home for the winter and then put it in the freezer. So as a matter of fact, I do.
I do not. I think veganism and especially I'm vegetarian, okay, but like I think veganism generally is kind of weird. Sorry, Lisa Rimmert, but I don't shame them. You know what I'm saying? I rarely say anything like that. Snarky about it. So like I don't shame me because I like chicken.
Yeah.
And I feel like the shame don't be the same. Like, let me shame you the way you shame me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you're just going to keep eating all them lentils and chickpeas. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me do the same thing. But I was like, don't meat shame me because I like turkey wings. Okay? I eat turkey wings and corned beef.
Oh, corned beef is so good.
Beef.
Why they don't have corned beef in California?
It's trash.
Yeah.
I'm not even. I thought
he's from Texas. Of course, it's trash.
Oh, you are. So you already know cattle.
Yeah, which is strange about my kid. But that's another story.
His child is. Well, tell the joke.
Okay, so my kid recently came out, non-binary, pansexual, vegetarian. I'm like, fuck that.
Damn, that's a checklist.
Right. Yeah.
And then,
I'm more upset about the vegetarian part.
That's what I was saying, because it's like non-binary. I wasn't about that.
So he does that early on his set, right? So you assume that it's the queer part, but he's like, "Fuck that, we ain't meet in this house."
Remind me off air. I'm going to tag that joke for you because I like it.
Okay.
So I'm going to tag that for you because I like it.
I'll be doing it later, but
You are?
I do.
He's
this.
writing it with us to Hannah's too.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, okay, all right. Because I got.
But I'm doing my shortish version because I'm tomorrow's. We're doing tomorrow's a contest at Nate's, and you get 3 minutes. So I'm trying to do boom, 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 like you're saying.
Okay.
Okay.
Nook, what are your thoughts on meat shaming?
Trash. What are you doing? Leave me alone.
Right.
I'm eating my steak. Dog.
Facts.
Do I get to ask them one question?
Yeah.
Okay. Where is deep in the heart of Texas? I just want to know.
I don't know that one.
I just been trying to figure out because they be like, deep in the heart of Texas. Well, where's deep in the heart?
I think that's Dallas.
Okay.
Fuck Dallas, bro.
I'm just saying, I think that's Dallas.
And then
Dallas.
Because that sounds like some white people shit that they came up with, and that's Dallas.
Kid, I just wanted to know.
It's a song, you know. It's just a song. That's what. All right,
because I wanted to know, is it a location? And then also, does Texas have the best damn whorehouse? That's all I want to know.
I love
the
that
best
show.
damn little whorehouse or
I
little
don't
damn
know.
That's some true
whorehouse.
shit. That's some true shit. The one of the reporters that was in Houston, he's the one that discovered the whole shit.
Really?
Yeah. Some
I
true
didn't know
shit.
that was the truth.
I don't know what the best though.
Yeah.
Did you have any other questions? I forgot that we didn't let you ask us questions.
Well, no, those are two I had in my heart because you said Texas. Those are two things I wanted to ask.
She didn't give a fuck about me.
People in Texas.
whatever.
Y'all been hanging out all week.
That's true. Because I'm her talent manager.
Yeah.
I'm her West Coast talent representative.
Friggin'
When is the next time you coming to Detroit? That's the next.
Oh, I don't know. My next trip is probably gonna be to Texas. So I got some Texas connects there. So
Nice.
I don't know, but I did love Detroit. And at the Detroit Women's Comedy Festival, separate from Melanie, we met some comedians who are either from or adjacent to Detroit, and then some of their friends and family were people that live in Detroit, and they took me and Lynette Manning in and showed us a good time. And we had Coney Island a bunch of time and whatever. But then I appreciated Melanie because the last day that we were there, Lynette and I, we had a day to kill, and Melanie took us to like Detroit. Like she took me to 8 Mile, and she took us to like, this is where I grew up, this is where I shot. That was
I
cool.
don't even know where we're running out. That was one thing I was going to ask. Is Detroit as bad as they say Detroit is?
Yes and no.
Okay.
You definitely, first of all, it's Detroit and Detroit. No, we're cool people. We're good. But I will say this, it's definitely not the place that you come to. You need an escort. Just don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not one of them places where, just stick downtown. It's not like a touristy place where you come. But if you got somebody that you know, they'll show you around. They'll take you places and stuff like that. I would say it's not that Detroit. We're just no nonsense people. That's it. We're cool.
I'll
but
make sure
no
I
nonsense.
get connected.
And I like that because the Bay Area, we're similar in that attitude. We don't fuck around, right?
Yeah.
And that's why people in the Pacific Northwest don't like me, because I'm a very we don't fuck around type person. Yeah. And so I think that's why we click. But I was very grateful to be able to see a little bit, just a small bit of like behind the scenes. But don't ask her about Eminem, because apparently Eminem's not from Detroit.
Yeah.
See my face.
She feels some kind of way about that. Okay, well, we're wrapping this up. Again, it's August 28th right now, so I don't know. This will be out in like 2 weeks.
Right.
So
By this time, I've moved on from the contest or not.
Yeah, I think by the time this comes out, I'll be getting ready to do my heat, or maybe I'll have just done my heat. So. So that's for Funniest Motherfucker in A. Jackson's. By this time, I think I will have already beaten Rob in the Stepping Stone contest at the.
We'll see, man. I don't know at
Coco Joe's.
That place could go either way.
Yeah, whatever. I'm gonna beat you.
I know. It's all good.
I don't know. I have a lot of shit going on in September.
Yeah, me too.
Whatever. Nothing that I can even think of that I can name off the top of my head. Yeah. You have anything coming up in your life?
Well, by the time this airs, it'll be my birthday, which is September 13th.
Hey.
And I'll probably be got back and broken up again with my boyfriend. So, you know, you know what I'm saying? So, that's about it. You know what I'm saying? Flip-flop.
And where can people find you?
You can find me at Instagram, Melanie J Comedy, spelled like the white girl, Melanie J Comedy. Also on Facebook at Melanie Hearn, like Thomas the Hitman Hearns. No S, and those are my handles on all social media platforms. And if not, you could just find me out here being godly. You know what I'm saying? That's just
being godly.
Try me.
I think she rides that line real tight. Big shout out, as always, to Stay Hydrated Studios and our producer Nook, who probably is running on like week 4 of no sleep because he just had another baby.
Correct.
What?
Correct.
Yes. And I'm sorry for being late. The traffic was trash. Doper trash. Always trash. Big shout out to them. Life is good. Summer is over, so it's about to get
raining.
It's about to get chilly.
Oh, shit.
It's about to get chilly in PMW. I know in Detroit they're gonna be snow on the ground soon. So
we got a couple. We usually get we might get a weird fall. So, you know, sometimes we can still have a weird 80-degree day.
Well, us too. Honestly, this could be like false fall, and then we get like another 2 weeks of summer at the end of September. It's weird. So it's very strange. But it's been another great episode. It's been a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much. I would love being here. I love this part of the country. I love you guys. Pie country. I love you.
It's been a personal honor to have you in my home and to be able to work with you and learn from you all week. An honor to have you on our podcast, and we'll make sure to update people as you come back out here.
Absolutely, because I will be back.
And I asked her when she's taping her special because that's how good she is. She's fucking amazing.
Hell yeah!
So, thank you for being with us, and we will see you. We'll see you in a week. Peace out.
Peace out.